Now, when the news first came down that Rudy Gobert will be sent to the Minnesota T-Wolves, my first thought is, I know Karl Anthony Towns isn't in that package. And I'm also thinking like Gobert and Towns on the court together. But what really made this trade a head scratcher and just honestly, it's got to be one of the worst trades in NBA history. I'm not Bill Simmons, so I'm not going to go back in history and look up every trade, but 5 players in 4 picks for Rudy Gobert. You out your fucking mind? We back. One-stop shop. Back again for another quick drop. NBA.com's tagline for their article on this trade couldn't be more true, which is Minnesota sends a steep package, including 5 players and 5 picks to Utah. Now, if you just read that tagline, you would think the players got to be Donovan Mitchell heading to the T-Wolves, right? That's where you're wrong. It's actually Rudy Gobert, who got traded to Minnesota for 5 players and 5 picks. Rudy Gobert, yes, he's won a Defensive Player of the Year, maybe even multiple times. But we're talking about a guy who cannot create a shot for himself. And you send 5 players and 5 picks, including 4 first-round picks, 3 unprotected, and also a pick swap. For Rudy Gobert, I mean, seriously, that's the type of package you would put together when you think as a franchise you're 1 player away, that you're already a conference title contender, and this player will make you an NBA champion contender. And Rudy Gobert does not do that for the Minnesota T-Wolves. More importantly, I think they need to figure out their point guard position, because I'm not sure D'Lo and his poor decision-making down the stretch is where they want to be in playoff games. So I think that should have been their number one thing to address, the point guard position. But adding Karl Anthony Towns with Rudy Gobert, yeah, it'll make you a better regular season team, a la Utah Jazz. But this is all I see when I look at the T-Wolves. Is another version of the Utah Jazz. Probably a great regular season team, but when it comes time for the playoffs, they're going to be out in the second round at best. I mean, come on, look at the West. You got the Warriors, you got the Clippers, Denver's coming back this season. Hopefully Porter will be there, but Jamal Murray should be healthy. The Lakers might possibly get Kyrie Irving, which could put them right back in the mix. Can't count out the Phoenix Suns, Luka Doncic in Dallas. Like, the West is pretty deep. And we've seen Rudy Gobert get played off the court multiple times in the playoffs. Can't create a shot for himself. 5 players? 4 first-round draft picks? For a guy who's never averaged 20 points per game? Albeit, great defensive player. But he's not a superstar. For me, he's not anywhere close. He cannot create for himself. We've seen him played off the court in the playoffs. The furthest the Jazz have made it with Rudy Gobert at center is to the second round. And for Minnesota, with Rudy Gobert in this Western Conference, where I forgot to even mention Memphis earlier, the furthest they will get again is the second round. And that's at best. They're possibly a first round exit as well, depending on their matchup. So I say all that to say, you give up 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, who doesn't really change fate for your franchise. He doesn't put you in the championship conversation. We see how quick the turnover now is in the NBA. It's sort of like European soccer. How quick players move from team to team now. That you will leverage so much of your future on a player who's not even a superstar, on a player who cannot even create a shot for himself. A great defensive player for sure, but a player who has never averaged 20 points per game. Crazy. Gone.